So now, as you kind of go through these deployments in all those 4 areas, would you say, other than the area of operations, the mission was generally pretty similar, just basically out doing raids, looking for bad guys type stuff?
Yes and no. So I transitioned, to doing some of the low vis stuff for a while. Had a chance to be on the Captain Phillips mission, with a few guys. I jump mastered the team that went in early.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so there's a handful of, there's 3 Air Force guys that ended up being there. But those were kind of one-off missions that just made stuff happen. Someone said, hey, can you guys go in there and do this? Yes, we can go do that. That whole time of just being an asset in theater, being available, found me getting, opportunities to do OTBs. Another squadron would come in, they're like, hey, we need a PJ. I'm like, yeah, I can do an OTB. It's not rocket science. And so, there's a lot of those opportunities that just emerged by some just good luck, being in the right place at the right time, but also being available. And so
OTB is over the beach.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Listening.
Yeah, basically swimming in, and patrolling in and swimming back out. And some of it sounds cool, but it's kind of a really mundane mission. And especially when you're doing like sneaky things. Like sneaky things aren't too sexy. Yeah, it's not a lot of shooting.
Well, they sound sexy.
Yeah, I guess it depends how you say it.
Well, sneaky is pretty sexy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any operations at any point in your career that went just horribly fucking wrong?
From my perspective, or from
I guess either.
Organization?
Either.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, you getting compromised, trying to get to target. Those are pretty bad. I'm trying to think of in the card catalog of things, what was really bad. I think that first op with all those casualties, I think that went pretty bad. Yeah. I think in retrospect, people thought it was successful, but there was a lot of discovery learning going on that target by a lot of people, not just me.
Yeah.
But no, there's nothing really that pops in my head about,
Sure. Were there any ops where it felt like you guys got your asses handed to you?
Yes. CAS has saved our lives more times than not. And CAS has been the discriminating kind of qualifier between success and non-success. And so, people think that it's like this one-on-one fight, like individuals shooting other individuals. It's not. It's usually an overwhelming force. We want the competitive advantage, right? We want to go in there with overwhelming force, not take any casualties, and get out of there. But what often happens is you'll have a barricade shooter, or you'll have a few folks that have a really good fighting position, whether it be in the mountains or not. And it overwhelms the force. It pins you down and it incapacitates you. Without CAS, I think it would have been a great challenge to get out of some of those situations. And I remember one night, I guess, talking about bad mission. So one night we're patrolling, and we stop in this not courtyard, but basically like a wheat field between 4 compounds. And I was with the recce team. The main assault force is pretty far behind us, and it was a partner force assault force, right? So we're going to try to get them to target and let them hit it, and then we're going to get back. And we stopped because our AC-130 got pulled from us. And so we always have dedicated CAS. So it gets pulled for a high-valued individual, so an HVI. And so the decision now is, do we keep going to target without air support, or do we turn around, like, what's the play, And so as we're sitting there in this kind of wheat field, it's about as big as a football field, right? And so this kid comes out with a dive light and starts shining it at us. So me and this other Navy guy are sitting there, and he's shining right on us, and he's spotlighting us for the guys in the compounds. And so you can see them on top of the compounds. You can see they're carrying weapons, but this isn't even our target. Like, literally, we're halfway there. And the kid shines us the dive light. And so
you say kid, ballpark age?
8, 9.
Oh, wow.
And so they sent him out there to spot us. And so he's spotting us. And so what do you do? Like, okay, we're made. And again, this isn't the target compound we're going after. This is just a happenstance we're there. And more men start coming up on the rooftops of these buildings. They all got guns. And so when I was talking about, lasers everywhere, so this is back when people used to have different shaped lasers. And so you knew, hey, triangle, square. And I didn't have a cool one. I just had a regular laser. I didn't get it upgrade. So everyone's got their lasers on kind of general people, but we're overwhelmed. I think it was 6 of us in this position. We're completely vulnerable. And next thing you know, they send these dogs out, those big Afghan hounds, and they're pushing through the wheat field. And I'm like, they're coming on this animal trail. And again, I don't want to be the first one to shoot, especially as the Air Force guy. But I definitely don't want to get mauled by this dog. And so I'm like, is this, because if the second I start shooting, everyone's going to shoot. You know what I mean? All those guys on the rooftop are going to start shooting at us. And I'm like, please don't come at me. Like, I don't want to have to make that decision. And it turns right before the animal trail and goes up to this hill and looks down at us. These are big dogs. And I'm like, okay, we're still good. And so it's been a few minutes now, which it seems like an eternity. Let's bound back. Let's get to a fighting position. Let's figure out what we're going to do. And next thing you know, the shooting starts.
Do you know who shot first?
It was the guys on the top. So the rounds start cracking, and a truck pulls up with a belt-fed machine gun. So they start ripping through us. RPGs are going over us, and it's like, oh wow, this is happening. And so we're shooting back the best we can, but at this point we need to make a decision to bound back. And not my place to say anything, right? Here I am, the PJ. I'm just happy to help. Just don't get shot because
I got the Band-Aids.
Yeah, I got the Band-Aids. And so we're all shooting back, and I don't know if we hit anybody or not. I mean, they're pretty long shots. But this belt-fed machine gun's ripping through this area. And what we realized was they were shooting RPGs and basically intersecting our positions, then running the belt-fed machine gun down their sights. So they're sighting it with those. Pretty smart. And so we end up deciding to bound back. And this is supposed to be like, old school bounding. You got 2-man teams. Yeah. It's just a mad dash. Everyone's running up this hill. And I'm thinking, I'm providing the base cover for these guys. I'm looking, everyone's running. I'm like, oh crap, I guess we're running. And so I'm running up this hill and just, there's tracers everywhere. And here comes, A-10s coming on station, on-call cast, and controller just waylays everything. And it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. But again, it wasn't a fair fight because of this. They came in first for their first gun run, and then you see this wall of fire, and you're like, man, thank God. Because I don't know what we would have done.
Had they not shown up, I mean, were you in an area where even bounding, you would have been fairly pinned down?
I honestly don't know. Yeah. But it's just an example of, okay, gig's up. We can't win this. It's not like you're trading bullet for bullet, right? Yeah. Let's just end this, bring in the planes and, clean them up. So, that's the importance of like that controller. I mean, he's so essential to the fight. And controllers are always working, right? So the PJ works when things go really bad. That's when he does his actual job. The controller's always, he's got comms, he's got his stack, he's got ISR, he's doing HLZs. He's working nonstop. And so PJs can kind of hang out for a little bit. You can kind of run with the teams, just like EOD does. Yeah. There's not always an EOD problem, but they're running and gunning.
Yeah. Man, that's fucking wild. To me, that brings up a dilemma from an 8-year-old with a flashlight. Is there a point at which that basically becomes an enemy combatant for you guys? I know that's an impossible fucking scenario, but
I don't know. I remember reading that book, Bravo 20, before the war started. Yeah. And I remember their decision, and
same thing with Operation Red Wing.
That's right.
I mean,
that's right. And this wasn't like that. It was, hey, he was spotting us for sure, but what would shooting him or not shooting change? Nothing really. I mean, and I don't want that on my conscience.
Yeah. That's a tough spot to be in, no doubt about it. Was once the A-10s came in, did you guys continue on with the mission, or was that just bailed ass out of there?
The gig was up and we went back, but that was one of those ops that you're like, just wrong place, wrong time. Yeah. What's the chances in the middle of nowhere, stopping next to these compounds, and they happen to all be, I guess combatants. But the other thing is, do you know if they are or not? Are they just protecting their turf? Do they think we're about to assault their compound? Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, even that's a shitty thing to think about, right? If it's just like a village that, here's the guys protecting the village and they all got smoked because,
Ricky just happened to stop right there and wait for SR. Yeah.
Yeah, war's a real motherfucker that way, huh? Is there a craziest injury that you came across that you treated?
No, not really. I mean, nothing too crazy. I mean, just the typical stuff. Gunshot wounds are gunshot wounds.
Do you ever have like a sucking chest wound, gunshot wounds?
Yes, with a partner force.
Yeah.
I also had, I think the most interesting one, here's another funny one with injuries, not funny, but same fire base was on when those A&A guys got shot up. The Brits were co-located with us, conventional like artillery unit. And again, they come knocking on my door because 18 Delta was in the field. They were doing their patrol to contact. And they come knocking on my door. Hey, we got casualties. Again, I think they're Brit casualties. So I grab my stuff. And they have all these Taliban fighters in their cache. And they're expending all their supplies for these Taliban who just killed a Brit soldier. And I'm thinking, my head's exploding around. I'm like, why the hell would you bring them back here? And I'm like, you seriously want me to expend, my resources for these people? They just killed one of your soldiers. And so I'm like, I'll use your stuff. And so I'm helping them, and I'm doing chest tubes on these guys. I'm, needle decompressions, and I had a long beard at the time, and the Terp's with me, and the interpreter's like, he's saying you have a really nice beard as I'm treating him. I'm like, okay.
The dude that you're treating said, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I appreciate that.
So you had, I think if you play your cards right, you got a chance with that guy.
That's right.
That's fucking funny.
I don't know what his life expectancy was.
Yeah.
He's probably the mayor of Kabul right now.
Yeah, no shit. Fuck. God, what a mess. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But I'm assuming you haven't kept track, but I mean, if you had to ballpark the amount of gunshot wound individuals that you treated in your career, any idea?
Maybe 30.
Yeah. Is there a percentage of how many of them made it?
As far as I know, all of them.
Oh, wow. So I guess that's where triage comes in, right? It's like the guys that, like, this guy's not even worth working on.
Yeah, we got a lot better at medicine. And when you're in Iraq back in the day, like if you had a really bad injury, you're getting into surgery within like 30 minutes back in the day.
Yeah.
Because recognize that the folks I was with, we had dedicated helos. They were loitering, right? So they would go sit in an air logger site if it was that high risk of a target. So you had Casevac within minutes.
Yeah.
And even in Afghanistan, like we had dedicated air support. And so we knew the legs, for how far we were from, this spot. If we needed to bring the surgical team on a fixed wing platform, we'd bring them to a site and loiter. And so we had it pretty damn covered. And so when you start going to places like, Somalia in the early days where you didn't have anything, like literally using commercial aircraft, international SOS was kind of our go-to because there's no platforms. That was different because I was like, please don't get hurt because it's going to take me forever to get you out of here. And two, you're going to a local hospital. And that's not something I'd want to wish on anybody, blood transfusions in an African hospital that's scary to a lot of guys for good reason.
Oh, fuck yeah. I wouldn't want to do it. It's like gas station sushi.
Yeah.
What's that?
Corn dogs.
Well, I mean, fuck, hot dogs are at least cooked, but I'm curious in the instances where you are doing that triage type stuff and in different environments, if guys are really bad off and basically the point where you write them off, do you do anything for them? Fortunately,
I've never had to make that decision.
Oh, okay.
And when you're really dealing with big mass casualties, I know that some people have, and I feel really bad for those dudes because we talk about it and we're kind of cavalier and saying, oh, you're expectant, we're going to put you in this pile. The reality is that no one's expectant. And if someone needs CPR, like everyone says you don't do CPR on the battlefield, if you have enough resources, you're doing CPR. Because there's a number of reasons. The first one is that if you can, you try. And it's not as black and white as in training, oh, you're expecting to put you in this pile. The second one is that it's also confidence for the other guys that if they get shot, we're going to expend every resource to take care of you.
Sure. No, that's for sure a good point. No doubt about it. Well, I'm glad that you didn't have to do that. Were there any kind of lessons learned from guys that did that you drew from? Did they offer any insight as far as shit like that goes?
I know that the guys that were on, there was a target in Iraq where a house collapsed, and one of the guys was mortally wounded. They had to deal with that, but they expended every second.
Just one of our guys? Yeah.
Navy? That was really heavy for them.
Navy guy or Army? Yeah. Going back and forth between Army and Navy, I know you spent more time with the Navy, but was there anything from the Army side that you could share?
I don't have any like really good impactful stories. I didn't do like I said, the Baghdad SWAT days when they were doing 100 targets a night.
Yeah.
They weren't bringing peaches with them back then.
Oh, okay.
And so I was doing Navy time exclusively.
Yeah, I got you. Anything that you'd like to share from all of your time? I mean, you spent a lot of time there. It sounds like a lot of it was pretty consistent with what you've already talked about. So, not asking you to beat a dead horse, but just anything that's funny or worth sharing.
I mean, yeah. So I know you had Bill Rapier on here not too long ago. But
were you in on the Big Mish or anything like that?
Which Big Mish?
Any of them, I guess.
No, I wasn't on the Big Mish. Yeah. The Mish of the lifetime those guys got. But Bill and I were living at Eagle Base, which is just north of Kabul, and so it's between Bagram and Kabul, and there's this mountain there called Big Nasty, and so
that's a good name.
And so Bill and the chief of base were going to hike this thing. So in the morning, the three of us are going to go hike this mountain, and so we're living off. The Afghans are cooking for us, and I think I had like eggplant pizza the night before, just nasty creations they come up with, and that morning I'm like real sick, like stomach sick, right? And so I'm like, screw it, I'll try to make it this mountain. And so back then I had beautiful hair, luscious hair. I can go into 10 minutes about how beautiful that hair was.
Fabio style hair.
A long beard, and I had blonde hair on the top of my head. So I was wearing all black. Remember the Mountain Hardwear fleece, kind of top and bottom, the wind stoppers. Had that. Had my rifle broken in pieces in my backpack, and Bill had his sniper rifle. And we're gonna hike this thing. And so it's literally just us going out and doing a hike in the morning. And so I've already kind of blown up the toilet before I left, and we started walking up this thing, and my guts started rumbling. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I can make it up this thing. And so I finally called knock it off. We're like halfway up, and I'm like, I can't do it, man. I got to go back. I got to go lay down somewhere and feel sorry for myself.
Yeah.
And so Bill's like, yeah, I'll cover you from this position, because we're outside the wire, we're outside the base. And I'm like, okay, I just wanted to get down to the Hilux, and I'll just sleep in the Hilux till you guys come back down. And so I'm going down there, and I had the worst diarrhea, so I stop on the side of this mountain. And as I'm doing this patrol of Afghan army stops, dismounts at gunpoint, thinking I'm like some Chechen rebel or something.
Holy
and here I am, I'm just dying on the side of the mountain. I'm like, and so Bill's watching this, and they're all dismounted. They got heavy weapons pointed at me. I'm like, this is how I die.
Shitting myself.
Yeah, on the side of a mountain. And so I take my beanie off and fluff my hair up. I'm like, maybe they'll see I'm this, this blonde haired, blue eyed guy.
Yeah.
And they don't change their posture whatsoever. And I'm like, oh, it's getting real.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I pull my pants up. I was like, I got to keep walking towards them. And hopefully, they'll hear that I'm American. And they're not budging. And I'm like, what's my play here? What do I do? At least advance on me and zip tie me or something. But one of the checkpoints, one of the Afghan checkpoints saw what was going down and screams running over there and like not to shoot. And he disarms this whole situation. And they kept hiking up the mountain. They left there. And, but that's the first time I almost died from being sick. I was also sick in Somalia real bad, where there was like a Mexican standoff at an airfield, and I was puking outside the door, and gun trucks pointing at each other, and I honestly didn't care. I was like, just shoot me.
Yeah.
And because they had dishkas, and I was like, at least it'll be quick.
Damn. Man, that's fucking wild.
I had a lot of GI issues over the years.
Man, that's a fucking trip. Combat story-wise, anything else big mission-wise that you can share? You're on the Captain Phillips thing. Is there?
So we did a mission after that. It was basically another a hook and climb off another ship. So after that all went down, you guys all know the story. When Red came in there and did what they did. We were still on the ship, the destroyer, we're on the destroyer at this time. And Phillips was with us, so we're going to translate him. And
did you talk to him at all?
Yeah, so I treated him when he first came off, and I brought him back to the Bainbridge. And it's funny on that video, on that Discovery special, it's like 2 Navy SEALs and their faces are blacked out. It's like me walking out of there with one of the other guys who's a giant. It's pretty hard to not know who that is. But so we came off, and another merchant vessel got attacked. And so they hit it with RPGs, and they thought there was pirates on this ship. And so there was, I guess it was 6 of us or 7 of us on the destroyer. And they call and say, hey, you guys, can solve problems. Will you guys, come do an underway for this merchant vessel? So the red guys are steaming back to Djibouti, and we're like, yeah. So we get into the conventional Navy, I guess they're kind of like ribs, they're pseudo ribs. And we climb up this thing, and I'd never been on a super tanker before. And so half the team's going to go to the superstructure and clear that thing, and we don't know where people are, but there's all these containers, lined up. And so myself and another SEAL were clearing these things one by one, and thinking between every one of them, there's going to be, some pirates there or whatever it's going to be. And we have no body armor, no helmet. We're wearing catcher's masks, on our head. And so turns out there's nobody on the ship. And all the RPGs went low order on the side, and they're stuck in there. And
all of them?
Yeah, I think there's 3 of them that were stuck in the side. I could be messing that number up, but definitely, seeing them stuck in the side and not exploded. And so we end up staying on the ship, and there's the crew on this ship are I'd never been around these. I don't know what these sailors are called, these merchant vessel guys. Yeah. But they look. I mean, it's straight out of prison, And so I'm sleeping in this room with these guys. I'm I'm going to get shanked in here. I was more worried about them than anybody else. We stayed on that boat or that ship for almost a couple of days, motoring with them.
Fuck, merchant Marines maybe?
No, it was civilians. So what do they call them, merchant Marines?